Hey, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Before we get started, there is a major shift coming to the channel come the beginnings of May, but fret not, I will be very active and streaming regularly on Twitch. So if you have not created an account yet and followed me over on my Twitch channel, that is DarkSpiderDavid for the username. So it's twitch.tv/DarkSpiderDavid. We're currently holding a goal of 50 followers, so if you can help out with that by checking out the channel, checking out past broadcasts that I've done, and seeing if you like what you see, hit the follow button. You won't regret it. See you then. I waited exactly 2 weeks to film this video just so that I can wear this shirt in it. Yes, I could have done this video way earlier, but I was waiting for this shirt to arrive in the mail. It finally has, and I feel pretty cool. And then maybe I should probably showcase what the shirt is. It's pretty much the endgame poster, but with Smash Brothers characters. Come on, man. How could I have not done a Nintendo Switch collection video without the shirt? Because up until this point, I've done a collection video on virtually every single console and platform and handheld that I own, from the 3DS to the GameCube to the NES. I didn't have the SNES, but Nintendo 64, even PlayStation 3 and 4. Now, I do have a PS Vita, but frankly, I literally own a handheld of games. I literally own like 5 physical games to kind of show off, so I didn't think it was worth it. I did, however, in fact, as small as it is, make a Xbox One collection video, but the one platform I have not touched upon is actually the Nintendo Switch, a console that I wasn't meant to have this many games for, but for some reason it happened because I have a problem. And because also I genuinely love the Switch. I do feel like this could potentially be my console of this current generation that we're in. Because PlayStation 4, as much as I love it, and as much as I would love to have the PlayStation 4 be my at-home console of choice, which is why I'm trying really hard to get through the PlayStation 3 backlog and my Xbox One backlog and even my 3DS backlog, so that then my primary consoles of choice are going to be my PlayStation 4, obviously, and then my Nintendo Switch, so that I can have games to play either here at home or on the go. And needless to say, if you have been watching my videos as of late, I love my Nintendo Switch. I generally do. Got my console right here. I make sure to treat it with care. I make sure it's clean. I prioritize it with accessories. Accessories that I have in fact reviewed on this channel. I got my Fast Snail controller grips for the left and right Joy-Con. Then I also got the Goalie Kit, which is the portable power bank that's also able to hook up to the Switch so that you can play with it on the go. I even got more than just one case, and I'm planning on getting more cases. I got the Insignia brand one from Best Buy, and then the RDS Industries Legend of Zelda Pleathery one, because I like to kind of accessorize and glamorize my Switch. But the one thing I haven't talked about on this channel are exactly the amount of games that I actually have for the console, and breaking them down one by one without trying to delve too much into all of them. So let's get right down to it. Split it up into 2 nice little piles here. One is going to be for either the games I have already played, the essential games that you need to get for the Switch if you're planning on getting one, and then also Wii U ports. I put them all in this one particular pit. And then we got the other games that aren't necessarily first-party titles for the Switch, but they're games that I managed to include in my collection either because of a sale, because people have been recommending it, reviews have been glorious for these games, and I felt like I needed to throw them in there, and maybe a combination of all those things. Trust me, there's more than one game that fits all of that criteria, and they're going to be in here. And I'm warning you now that there's actually going to be a couple of games in this collection that did come with like a collector's edition, so I'll try to go over those as best as possible and as quickly as possible so I don't take up too much of your time. So let's start off with the essentials, which are bound to come with your Nintendo Switch, whether you like it or not, because these are generally a reason for them being essentials. They're great games. They're games that will take up an awful lot of your time, will give you value for your Switch, and also because most of the time retailers such as Best Buy, Target, Walmart, and even online like Amazon, they consider these games to be like the cornerstones that everybody should own with their Switch, so much in fact that they throw them in with particular bundles, or you save money on them. So first and foremost, of course, we're going to cover some first-party stuff. Of course, you got Super Mario Odyssey, which was considered one of the best games of 2017, and was very surprising to find this come out alongside the next game you'll see on this entry. Played through it, liked it a lot. I almost loved it, but there was just something about it that maybe it was because the hype was built up too much, but I wasn't right exactly in that ballpark with everybody else with Odyssey. I prefer some other Mario titles that we've gotten in the past, but I do agree with a lot of folks that if you have a Switch, you gotta get yourself Super Mario Odyssey. Next up is, of course, the other game that everyone's gonna universally tell you need to have for your Switch, except me, because I haven't played it. It is Breath of the Wild. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. And as you can see, complete and utter proof that I have not played it, because it is actually still wrapped in itself. And why? Because I'm choosing the perfect moment to play this game, which will likely be this summer, because I work in the computer department at Best Buy, and usually summertime is our busiest time because it's back to school season. So things are about to get busy, and because they're about to get busy, I feel like Breath of the Wild might finally have its time in the limelight for me personally, because then I can play at home, and then when I'm away for work, I can play this on the go during my lunches, during the time that I'm waiting for traffic to die down. It's a perfect scenario, and that's the scenario that I've been waiting for to play this game. Up until now, however, that hasn't presented itself. But with Breath of the Wild, I also got the Explorers Edition, the bonus Explorers Guide and Map that came with the Explorers Edition bundle right here, which I unboxed in a live stream not too long ago. But basically, you can check out that live stream. I think it's archived here on YouTube. Comes with a little cloth map and also a guide that breaks down the dungeons and stuff like that through Breath of the Wild. I'm not going to flip through it because I don't want to take up too much time, but it did come with this, so I think that was rather cool for them to do. I believe got it through Walmart, but I think other retailers were giving it out at the time. Don't think that's the case now, but I think there's like a starter edition that kind of resembles this one, with I think a couple of things changed up. And I'm skipping a little bit because this was below this one, but Smash Brothers. Now, I didn't have the original version of Smash Brothers. I actually went ahead and in fact got the Ultimate Edition, or the Collector's Edition, Special Edition. I can't remember what it specifically it was called, but basically it comes in this nice little box that showcases our artwork, but it's kind of embossed. It comes in a nice little collectible box package. On the side, you got all the fighters right there, and then on the back, your traditional artwork. But the biggest hook is that it comes with a cool little decaled version of the Pro Controller, and then this steelbook. So the steelbook doesn't exactly have the original art of Smash Brothers, but you got this nice little steelbook. Granted, it's a little bit too simplistic for my taste. I think they could have done something a little cooler, especially on the inside, where they could have like had all the characters lined up there, but instead it's just a battlefield stage. So you can check out my other impressions for the steelbook and for the collector's edition and the unboxing in the separate unboxing video on this channel. But of course, if you have been a huge fan of Smash Brothers from the beginning and you want a very inclusive fighter for all ages, Smash Brothers definitely needs to be in your collection. So I believe that those are the trifecta, so to speak, of games you need for the Switch. If you're a huge Nintendo fan, that's probably what motivated you and moved you to wanting to get a Switch. Those are the three games you definitely need to include. Moving on to, I guess we're going to be covering some Wii U ports here, but let's face it, most of us that got the Switch didn't get the Wii U when it came out. So now knowing that so many games are ported over to the Switch from the Wii U that were stranded on that system because of that goddamn gamepad and just the way it played, it's now time to go back and play these games, and I'm hoping that maybe they could take some other hidden gems and port it over to the Switch. Metroid Prime Trilogy needs to happen. Granted, I know that that's not Wii U, that's Wii and GameCube-ish, but it needs to happen. In the meantime, however, you can spend your time playing, of course, Mario Kart 8, another great multiplayer game. Granted, it's racing, so racing might not be for everybody, but it is with Mario characters. It's in the karting style, so it's not meant to be realistic. And plus, this comes with battle mode, which makes up an awful lot of fun. Next up, Splatoon 2. Didn't play the original Splatoon because, again, it was on the Wii U, and then seeing that Splatoon 2 was on the Wii U as well, I thought to myself, damn, I guess I'm gonna be missing this Splatoon game in all sorts of its iterations. But now, knowing that the second one came to Switch, I was like, yes. This is definitely going to cut it. Plus, another thing that Nintendo likes to do with either the first-party titles or even some third-party ones would be that on the inside, sometimes they like to throw in some reversible art covers. So that's pretty cool. There's one right there for Splatoon 2, and that's rather neat. Next up, haven't played this game, but you'll notice it's open. And I opened it so that I can redeem the code for its original game, and also so I can get those gold points that I can then use in the eShop. You can check out details of that online on your own. But Bayonetta 2. Right there. Once again, another port over from the Wii U. And the biggest bang for your buck about this is that naturally it comes with the download code for Bayonetta. Now granted, that download code may not be coming with the game if you're buying this used or imported or something. There's different circumstances for that, but for the most part, if you're buying a brand new copy, they'll throw in a code for the original Bayonetta. Being that I have not played either one, perfect time to play it now on the Switch. And perfect time to also prep up for Bayonetta 3 when that comes around. Another game I missed on the Wii U, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Seeing that it was going up on the Switch, I thought to myself, okay, I'm not a huge Donkey Kong, country or Donkey Kong game fan, but I definitely want to kind of induct myself, so I will wait for a sale, and that's exactly what happened here with this game. Plus, they're throwing in the funky mode, so if you feel like it's a little bit challenging, you can at least kind of dumb it down and at least get some kick out of that. Next is a game that I did play, but not on the Switch, on the PlayStation 4 just recently, and I thought to myself, yes, this was the shit. And honestly, if I could find it for a good deal, which I did, I'll get it on the Switch, because then I can kill some demons while I'm waiting for my commute to go down. Doom. Now, I know that this plays a little differently than on PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4, you can play it up in, well, I don't know about 4K. I think you might have to do PC for that. But 60 frames per second. Here, they locked it down to 30 frames so that it can run, frankly, period, on the Switch. But the fact that it's the full-blown Doom game, portable, enough said. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I honestly, this is probably the first entry here in my collection that I think to myself, like, maybe I could have done without this, but it's the portable factor that makes me go, okay, this increases my chances of hopefully beating these games, because I've actually tried playing this on the PS4 with the original Insane Trilogy when that came out, and I was getting pissed. Granted, I hear that the first game is universally hard, and it gets easier as you wind down to the second and third game, and hopefully I can, have better luck on the Switch. If not, then at least it'll make for some good rage streams, hopefully in the future. A game that I think a lot of people should at least try out, and frustrated me a lot, but in a natural sort of way, where I was like, okay, this is not the game's fault, it's just me, I need to learn how to get better at these turn-based strategy games. And initially scared me because I'm not a huge XCOM guy. I tried playing XCOM not too long ago, and I was like, this is not for me. But frankly, this one did end up being up my alley, and I ended up liking it a lot. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Definitely a game if you're a huge strategy RPG, or better yet, an RTS fan, or a strategy turn-based RPG type of person, then this is a game that you should definitely check out. I see it a lot on sale recently for like $20. So if you got $20 to spare and you got yourself a Switch, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, perfect blend of two properties that don't belong together, however, working, and then going under the envelope on the other umbrella of being a turn-based strategy. Surprisingly, it works. So check it out. Then a game that I knew I needed to get on the Switch. It's a perfect Switch game. Now we're diving into some separated games that aren't, and I guess I kind of demonstrated with Mario Rabbids and Crash Bandicoot, that aren't Wii U ports, but are games that are kind of in that mid-tier, where they're not the essentials that you need, but I definitely still recommend them to check out, and they're not Wii U ports. So I mentioned Mario Rabbids, Crash Bandicoot, and then next up, Rocket League. I know you can find this on other platforms, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but on the Switch, there's just something rather cool about the Switch. It's not a very high-profile game that needs, the best graphics or the smoothest frame rate. Plus, even on Switch, it still runs at 60 frames per second. And playing portable or docked on a TV, it's the exact same experience. Plus, on the Switch, you find either the Collector's Edition, like I did, or the Ultimate Edition just recently that comes with like some bonus DC-related and movie-related tie-ins for decals and extra content to give you some more value for your money and still end up with the very addicting Rocket League game. Then, next up on this first half of the pile, so to speak, will be LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2, the one game that I feel I'm never going to finish, because I decided to make this me and my girlfriend's core game, and every time we try playing it, we never get past the first stage. So one of these days, I might have to just bite the bullet and play it by myself, because that's the only way I'm going to beat it. But if you're looking for a spare time to play another LEGO game, that's what this is for. Otherwise, I don't see myself really prioritizing this, but hey, it was on sale. Alright, so now that we're done with that pile, we're going to move on to this pile. Now, this pile, I don't want to say is considered middle tier. I feel like it's more lower tier, but they're games that I added to my collection so that I can have something to play, and almost all of them were bought under the duress that they were on sale, and I wanted to save money. And I knew that so many people recommended a good plethora of these games, but if I didn't have the money, they wouldn't have been part of the essentials. So I guess you could say, past this point, whatever game you see me kind of showcase, you take it with a grain of salt. And you check out reviews and decide for yourself if you want to consider it part of your collection. But at this point, I'm just showing off. So on top of this pile is going to be Fire Emblem Warriors. This is designed to be not necessarily a Fire Emblem game, but a Dynasty Warriors type of game with Fire Emblem characters. A fact that I didn't know about until like a year ago. So once this game was already in my collection, it was like a little too late. But I thought to myself, okay, it's still gonna be a fun time. And plus, for the amount of sale that they were discounting off of this version, because this is not the standard edition of the game, I actually ended up getting the special edition that comes with an awful lot of goodies. And once again, I unboxed this in a separate live stream. You could probably skip ahead to the time code and figure out where exactly it is that I unboxed it. Or better yet, you can follow me on Twitch and you'll know exactly when I go live in case I ever do any future unboxings that I don't feel like need a specific video for, but I still want to do it on camera. But I did one for this that comes with an awful lot of neat goodies, such as the soundtrack, some a cool little Fire Emblems poster, character card sets, and then of course the core game, plus I think some digital stuff, and all in this nice little reflective box. But I thought, alright, it's almost like half off. You get the game and all these bonus goodies that you're probably not going to find again because of the limited quantity. Screw it. And I guess while I'm down here, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. Another game that, again, I don't think you need this particular edition of, but I thought that in the time and the moment, I'll garner it. And that is the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Pokeball Plus Edition, which is essentially the core game. In fact, I'm just going to unbox it real fast because it's not that long to do. You get the main game, which is right there, Let's Go Pikachu, a reiteration of Pokemon Yellow, so you had me a little bit sold there, but it also comes with the Pokeball Plus little Pokeball accessory that makes it really cool to not only play the game with, just simply by this instead of using a Joy-Con, but also you can then take your Pokemon on the go and level them up as you go. So that's pretty cool. And I'm also hoping, to an extent, without making the game terribly easy, that this Pokeball accessory will also play a factor in Pokemon Sword and Shield when that comes out later this year. So next up is a game you'll notice is open, but I still have not had a proper chance to sit down and play it, but I'm excited for it because it's a collection. It's actually the first collection game cartridge, separated cartridge that I have here in this whole ensemble, and that's going to be the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. I figured that for 20 bucks, yeah, at least that's how much I paid it for, you get virtually every game that came out between Street Fighter and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, including the one-offs, the spin-offs, the bonus editions, whatever have you, from back in the day, which is exactly what it says here, celebrate 30 years of Street Fighter. So knowing that you get all these cool little arcadey style Street Fighter games on the Nintendo Switch that you can not only play docked but also on the go. I think you can split up the you can split up the Joy-Con because the controls at that point, they weren't super mapped out. You know, you just had your basic like 3 buttons, so you can kind of map that across the Joy-Con very easily. You can play with another friend. This is a very accessible package, and I figured that this is one that I highly recommend. Even if I haven't played it, it's one that, at least for the money, if you're a huge Street Fighter fan, keep this one under your radar. Then next up is going to be a game that I'm hoping I don't regret buying, but I definitely would like to open it up so I can check out the points, and that was for Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Only because recently playing Monster Hunter World, I actually ended up getting addicted to the gameplay despite getting super pissed off at how much those monsters are tough to kill. But there was just something kind of masochistically addicting about that game. And being that they were porting over the original Monster Hunter Generations from the 3DS over to the Switch via the Ultimate Edition with HD graphics and what have you, I thought, you know what? If I could find a good deal on this, I might add this to my library, and yet here it is. Next up is another game that I did play the demo for, and I know it's a huge one that a lot of people say should be part of your collection, but when I played the demo, I liked it, but I wasn't in love with it. But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt in saying that I played the demo while I was away in a Airbnb with my girlfriend during our anniversary. my focus wasn't 100% on the game. I was literally playing it in cruise control, so to speak. So I wasn't like in it, you know what I mean? And this is definitely a game that you have to be in it to be kind of engaged and fully immersed into this world, because it's an RPG that demands quite a bit of your time. Octopath Traveler. And being that I managed to find a good deal on Amazon, I picked it up, and thinking that maybe for the value, and maybe one of these days when I really want to invest myself in a very hardcore RPG that I can spend hundreds of hours on, I think this might be it, at least until Dragon Quest XI comes out. Okay, this next one, this next one's gonna, it's gonna make me feel terrible, but it's Darksiders War Mastered Edition. True story. This game should not be in my collection. I had no inkling to actually want to get this, but I'll tell you why it's here. There's only one reason, and one reason alone. This is the misprint edition. Unless it's considered, unless you want to consider it a very clever marketing ploy by the folks over at THQ Nordic and Vigil Games, although I don't know if Vigil Games are still around, but THQ Nordic, who bought out the property and reissued the game for the Switch, they misprinted the Nintendo Switch label. So you'll notice there's no red background on the Nintendo Switch label. It's transparent like a PNG file you load up on Photoshop. And then you move over to the spine and you'll notice there's no red spine. It's black. And a little bit of the back image bleeds over. I found this out via Metal Jesus, Metal Jesus from YouTube, who does like collection videos and vintage videos on gaming and stuff like that. He brought this to my attention, and I thought to myself, screw it. The next time, I'm not gonna go out of my way to do it, but the next time I'm back in the warehouse at work, I'm gonna see if I can find a copy that has this misprint. And I found one, and I said, screw it, I'm gonna buy it. I'll buy it. And I bought it. 2 weeks later, found Darksiders War Mastered Edition up on the shelf with the print corrected. This was fixed, and I thought, what I'm currently holding in my hand could potentially be valuable. So there it goes. Otherwise, I've played the game. It's fine. I like it a lot. I like it quite a bit. Not a lot to rebuy, but the misprint. The misprint got me. Now this game, however, I am actually rather kind of excited to want to play in the future. It's actually a Tales of game. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. This is, from my understanding, the only Tales of game that's on the Switch right now. So I thought, yeah, definitely got to get it, especially if I find it for a good deal, because I'm a bargain hunter. But ever since I played Vesperia, I think 2 years ago, I think it was 2017. I don't think it was last year. So yeah, 2 years ago I played Vesperia on PS4, and I fell in love with the Tales series. I thought, if they can all be like this, you might have me hooked. And I hear that the next best protagonist to play as in the Tales games is actually this guy right here from Vesperia. That's a very compelling and very conflicted type of character that's not black or white. So I was like, all right, you know what? You might have me hooked here. Obviously, I haven't opened it yet, but I'm excited to play it. Then a game that, again, could potentially fall in the area, the category of a game that could potentially not grab me, and I'm using a lot of adjectives there, but it might not grab me, but at least I can, use that as a time killer, trying to invest some time there if I ever need to, like, waste time or something, but who knows? I saw enough reviews to make me go, you know what, I'll get it. Civilization 6. I never played a Civilization game, but being that this is the only Civilization game that I think I see on a console, I don't think they're even on PS4 and Xbox One, and this is the only Civ game on a console. And out of all the consoles, you chose the Switch, the portable one, to put it on, so that then I can build my own cities and kind of, because right now the only tycoonish type game that I ever really fell in love with, actually there's two. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 on PC, and also on PC, the movies. Lionhead's The Movies, I think is what's called. The movies where you get to create your own studio and manage every single aspect of it. I actually really fell in love with those things. So if they can kind of have a similar-ish type of addictive gameplay style like here, found here, like it did in those games, then Civ 6 might be a winner. All right, so we're starting to wind it down somehow, but I'm hoping to maybe breeze through this a little bit quicker. Lego DC Supervillains. I guess my opinions on this are pretty much mirroring that of Lego Marvel Heroes 2, where it's like it's a Lego game, it's a time waster. I want something to play, found it cheap, so I'll add it to my library. I am, however, excited to create my own villain. That's probably the only thing that this has me a bit more excited than finishing Super Mario Heroes, because here you play as established Marvel heroes. Over here, you're in the DC universe, but you get to create your own villain. So, like Star-Lord said, I'm going to make some weird shit. Then another game that suckered me in primarily for one reason: it was on sale, and secondly, it's one of those physical interpretations of what's normally just a digital game, and when it comes to physical, they throw in a poster, they throw in a little collectible style manual, and there's a code for the soundtrack, and hopefully the soundtrack is good enough for me to use said code. Otherwise, maybe I'll give it away. But it's Salt and Sanctuary. Prior to purchasing, however, I did check out reviews, and I thought to myself, if I can engage myself in that Souls-like style of gameplay, while at the same time having people saying that it's not as hard as Souls, but it can be, then I thought, okay, maybe with it being portable, I'll find enough time for me to engage myself in the rules and get deep into the gameplay so that maybe I can get hooked. Another game to kind of also fit that kind of approach in terms of how I got, kind of exposed to it and decided to buy it on Switch is Valcara Chronicles 4. A game that I was kind of scared to pick up only because I was like, oh, do you have to play the first 3? But being that this is also a contained story and the turn-based strategy can kind of not resemble, but kind of remind me of how I ended up getting suckered into Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I thought, all right, maybe the same thing could happen here. Plus, it also looks like it has a story and characters that obviously have that Japanese influence in, but the Japanese influence that I really like the ones from the Tales of games. So I thought if we could do that, then maybe we got another winner as well. And now we're truly winding it down. So next up is another collection, but it's a collection for a game series that I really do want to get into. I'm just scared that I'm going to be pissed by its difficulty, but only time will tell. Mega Man X Legacy Collection, and then of course Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2. Not a huge fan that they did what they did with Bayonetta, which on Bayonetta I get it because they're full AAA games. These games, they're relatively small to put on a cartridge, so it's like, maybe you could have put both on the cartridge, but I'm not entirely 100% sure. All I know is that Legacy Collection is on the cartridge, and then you get a separate code to be able to download Legacy Collection 2. But when it comes to Mega Man, period, the version that I've always known has been the X version. The cool, edgy-looking version of Mega Man, which they call X, and it's this version. So that original, very playful-looking version of Mega Man, and when I say playful, I don't mean that it's a playful game. No, I understand that it's challenging, and I'm expecting this one to be as well. It's just that I resonate more with this version because I think more of these X games came out when I was kind of gaming as a child, and that's what I would see. I didn't play them, but that's what I would see like in magazines, etc., etc. So now knowing that they kind of packed them all together in a total of 8 games under the same title, I was like, yeah, sure, you got me. All right, I'm gonna skip a little ahead though, down to what was going to be the last game, but I'm gonna leave that last for a particular reason. But Diablo 3. The, Eternal Collection on Switch. That also comes with some Ganondorf stuff, so that's pretty cool. But main reason why I wanted to get it is because I've always, for quite a while now, I've been wanting to get into the Diablo games. And whenever I see gameplay, it always looked like the same game to me. And by that I mean, it looked like the type of game that I seriously need to sit down and properly learn the rules. And I thought, okay, maybe one day. And I noticed that the versions on consoles like PS4 got cheaper. I was like, I might get it. But then they announced it for the Switch. And I was like, this looks like a Switch game. This looks like a Switch game. This looks like the game that needs to be purchased on Switch only because I can play it here at home and I can play it on the go. And I don't necessarily have to come home just to play it, especially because of how much of an investment I might need to make in the gameplay, in the rules, in the style, and everything, and hopefully I can find myself in that same field as other people are when they get addicted to Diablo and they're like, another Diablo game, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll also get pissed that the next game will come to mobile and throw a fit and rape the dislike button on YouTube. I'm sorry. And now last but not least, certainly because of what it entails on my collection here, StarLink Battle for Atlas. The reason why I saved this game for last is because you can't exactly get the game just standalone like this in physical form. You could digitally for like $20-$30, but physically with the cartridge and everything inside, the only way to really get this is to get the starter pack. And the only way to properly play this game is through the Nintendo Switch, because it is available on PS4 and Xbox One, but that's the vanilla version of StarLink. With the Switch version of StarLink, you get all of these nice little goodies, plus the fact that you get to play as Star Fox. And a lot of people have already said that this is the spiritual pseudo-sequel successor-ish type thing to the next version of Star Fox. As opposed to that Zero shit we got on Wii U. This is the way to go if you're going to be playing StarLink, because you get to play as Fox, you get to use the R-Wing, and if you get the starter pack, you get, even if you don't end up using these, toy come-to-life mechanics of the figures, you at least got a cool-looking R-Wing replica to put up on your shelf. And it was super cheap too, so I was like, yes. Yes, please. And there you have it. My entire video game collection for the Nintendo Switch as of now. There are some games coming later this year. Obviously, we got Pokemon Sword and Shield. We got a 2-pack of the Guacamelee series, Guacamelee 1 and 2, under the same cartridge, that I'm actually rather excited to get, because it comes with like a little bonus map and a lot of other physical goodies, and I always love those things. And then, of course, whatever else Nintendo has up their sleeve, Metroid Prime 4, or probably not even Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime Trilogy. Remaster those things and give them to us. Astral Chain, maybe. I'm kind of down for that. And then, of course, whenever they decide to release it, I think it's called Daemon X Machina. I played the demo. And don't even get me started on the digital games I also have on the Switch that I could either re-download through the eShop or I already have right now. I'm never going to get out of here. But there you have it. My entire collection of Nintendo Switch games. It wasn't supposed to happen this way, but I'm loving the console so far, and I'm hoping to expand my collection, but I'm glad that before things wrap up on this channel, my last collection video was going to be for none other than the Nintendo Switch, and I'm pretty damn proud of it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like and share the video. Tell me in the comments, what are your guys' collections? If you own the Switch, what do you have on the Switch? List them all down below. I don't know why I got an accent all of a sudden. Make sure you hit me up on Twitch. The link is in the description below. You can check out my channel, check out past streams, and make sure to hit the follow button so that you can never miss another stream in the future, where I'll be streaming PlayStation 4 games, Switch games, and then maybe even some leftover PS3, Xbox One games that I'm trying to get through. Otherwise, make sure to hit me up on Twitter and on Instagram. The links are also in the description. DarkspireDavid is the username, and you can catch me there when I'm not here. Otherwise, take care.